Very good evening and welcome to another lovely Thursday night with me, Francis Lampard. It's time for the game zone. It's time for the preview of match week 28 of the English Premier League. We've got two top grade games for you this weekend. Arsenal versus Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final, and match week 28 of the English Premier League featuring Chelsea and Manchester United. And of course, we've got it fixtures for you as far as the Premier League is concerned. But hey, this show is by the kindest courtesy of I Belong to Jesus House of Car Parts and Attract Studio. Hey, look below and subscribe to this particular channel. Subscribe to this particular channel, and also you can follow me on all the social media platforms. On Facebook, Francis Lampard; on Twitter, Francis; and on Instagram, Francis; and also on YouTube, Francis Lampard. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Francis Lampard, and also share the video among your friends, and also don't forget to press the like button down there, and also drop all your comments. I will attend to all, I will reply all. Let's kick start now. Let's start off with the Carabao Cup final between the league leaders Manchester City and Arsenal. Hey, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be fascinating, it's going to be entertaining, and of course Pep Guardiola and his boys, they are on form this season. They are leaving no stone unturned, and of course they will be happy to lift their first silverware this season. And also Wenger and his Arsenal side will also want to, in fact, we all know, though they are in the Europa League, but I think this Arsenal to lift the Carabao Cup, but it won't be easy. And again, it is going down live at the Wembley Stadium or the London Stadium. Manchester City, they've got all the top-notch players, and they are doing so well this season. And if you are a side coming to face Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, you've got to have enough experience, you've got to have good defense, you've got to have good midfielders, you've got to have good strikers. And if you are lacking from any of the three departments of the game, then it will go against you. And again, I think this one, it is going to be very soft for Pep Guardiola and his side. And Arsenal, they've had a few signing during the winter transfer. They brought on board Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang from Borussia Dortmund. I think Arsenal, they've got good players now, but can they withstand the pressure from Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City side? I will say no, because Arsenal, they are not playing well to my expectation. And of course, they've had a few lapses, especially the defense. I was even expecting manager of the side as Wenger, and again they are playing against one of the best team in the world at the moment, Manchester City. As far as score prediction for this very one is concerned, I think Manchester City will make this one, and it won't be easy for them. They've got to fight hard, they've got to, in fact, take their chances as well. Manchester City, they are going into this one off the back of a very serious defeat against championship side Wigan Athletics. And will that have a toll on their performance against Arsenal? I will say no, because this is the opportunity for Pep Guardiola to lift his first silverware as far as Manchester City is concerned. And I think this one, it is going to be Man City. As far as score prediction is concerned, I will go with 2-1 victory for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Now let's continue with the people's favorites. The English Premier League match week 28 will be on this weekend across all the match venue. And of course, we've got the great game for you, Chelsea versus Manchester United at the Theatre of Dreams, the Old Trafford. Remember, the first leg ended 1-0 in favor of the Blues. courtesy Alvaro Morata's only goal of the game. And I think this season Chelsea, they are up and down like a roller coaster. They are not playing like reigning champions, they are not playing like defending champions. They've got to start doing something this time round, especially this is the time for them to fight for Champions League spots. And of course they are going into this particular tie off the back of 1-1 draw against FC Barcelona in the Champions League, and they've done extremely well. They William hitting the bar, hitting the woodwork left, right, center. And of course Eden Hazard was on form against FC Barcelona, and the partnership between Eden Hazard and William, it wasn't all the best because Pedro wasn't contributing enough. But at the end of the day, they were able to draw 1-1 with FC Barcelona. And again, Manchester United, they've also drew goalless with Sevilla in the Champions League. And of course they could have conceded goals, but their goalkeeper, they've got a very good goalkeeper in the shape of David De Gea. He was on Manchester United side. He made great saves. He made as many as 8 great saves for Manchester United against Sevilla. That speaks volume of his caliber. And again, I think let's now come back to the feature proper, Chelsea versus Manchester United, as far as score prediction for this one is concerned. And of course in the Premier League, Manchester United, they lost to Newcastle United. That was match week 27. It doesn't speak good of Jose Mourinho and his side, and they are going into this particular one. I think as far as score prediction for Chelsea versus Manchester United is concerned, I will go with 2-1 victory for Chelsea, because they always turn up in big games like this. They always fight hard to pick maximum 3 points over the top 6 clubs in the Premier League. Now it will take place on Sunday at the Old Trafford. Now let's come back to Saturday fixtures. Leicester City will be up against Stoke City at the King Power Stadium. And again, I think Leicester City, they are beginning to grant victory. It seems the second half of the season they are doing extremely well. They are leaving no stone unturned, and they've up the drop zone, and they are not bad in the second half of the season. But let's move to their opponent, Stoke City. They are very bad. They aren't doing anything good. I can't really fathom what at all is wrong with Stoke City. And of course they've got to start doing something. As far as score prediction for Leicester City versus Stoke City is concerned, and of course it's the King Power Stadium, one of the dreadful ground for some of the clubs in the Premier League. And Leicester City this time round, they would want to pick the maximum 3 points over Lambert and his Stoke City side. As far as score prediction is concerned, I will go with my 2-1 victory for Leicester City. Let's continue now with FC Bournemouth versus Newcastle United, and of course it's the Vitality Stadium. Newcastle United, they've got a very vital win over Manchester United during match week 27. They've got all the maximum 3 points over Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. It's kind of boosts their morale, it's kind of boosts their confidence, it's kind of boosts their ego going into this particular tie against AFC Bournemouth. And of course AFC Bournemouth, they are playing at their own backyard, Vitality ground. And I think AFC Bournemouth, they are rugged. They are not doing so well, especially in the second half of the season. And I cannot really tell the reason where they are very shambolic this time round. They can't just grant victory, but I think it is going to be Newcastle United, because they want to get themselves off the drop zone, and it's very important at this crucial moment of the season. All the bottom half clubs, they are all fighting to in fact reach that 40 points limit, and if you are still playing this kind of shambolic football this time of the season, that it means you want to play maybe championship football next season, and that's what exactly AFC Bournemouth are doing. And as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 1-0 victory for Rafa Benitez is Newcastle United. Now let's continue with Brighton versus Swansea City at the American Express Stadium. And of course, American Express Stadium, Fortress, no, it is never Fortress this time round, because anybody at all can go there and grab victory. Anybody at all can go there and grant victory. Anybody at all can go there and pick the maximum 3 points. But it seems these two sides, Swansea City and Brighton, they are like birds of a feather this time round. Both are struggling, but it seems Swansea City are beginning to in fact gather enough confidence, and when they meet teams like Brighton, they always want to prove that we are ready to in fact get ourselves off the drop zone. We are ready to in fact reach the 40 points limit, and it is going to be very interesting. It is going to be very fascinating. It is going to be cagey encounter. And as far as score prediction for Brighton versus Swansea City is concerned, I will go with my 2-1 victory for Swansea City. Now let's continue with West Bromwich Albion versus Huddersfield Town at the Hawthorn. And of course, the Hawthorn, it's always a fortress. It is always a fortress. And of course, this time round, I don't think it will be fortress, because prior to this particular fixture, match week 27, they lost to Chelsea, and of course it's kind of down their spirit. And Huddersfield Town, I think this time around they are beginning to lift themselves up. They are beginning to understand the reason why they need to play Premier League football necessary, very serious this time around. Huddersfield Town, wow, you can't just predict them easily, because they are side that they can surprise you on any day. They can grant victory both home and away. But I think West Bromwich Albion and Huddersfield, I think both are on the same page. So as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 1-1 after full 90 minutes of action. Now let's continue with Liverpool versus West Ham United at Anfield. And of course, it's their own backyard. It's fortress. It will always be fortress for the bottom half clubs, the likes of West Ham United, who are struggling under the watch of David Moyes. They can't just do anything right. They are very shambolic. They are very pathetic. They are not serious. West Ham United, I was even expecting them I was expecting West Ham United to get some players during the winter transfer, but they haven't done anything like that. So I thought maybe they haven't had enough money to splash during the winter transfer. And again, they are playing against one of the best side in the Premier League this season. They are playing against one of the solid side in the Premier League this season. Liverpool, no, they've got a very good goal scorer. They've got a very good goal poacher, the man in the shape of Mo Salah. He is doing extremely well. He is taking his chances. He is orchestrating play, and the whole Liverpool team, I think Mo Salah is doing so well this time around. He is scoring. I think he has scored more than 30 goals, of course, for Liverpool in all competition this season. That tells you how good the player is. That tells you how good he is this season. And I can't just in fact say anything, because what Liverpool, they are doing so well. And I can't give anything to West Ham United in this particular fixture. And again, it's Anfield, fortress for a club like West Ham United. And of course, Jurgen Klopp is not perturbed. I've got to say about this Liverpool team, even though they are in top class form, they've got to strengthen their defense a bit, because the strikers are doing so well. The Mo Salah and Co, they are scoring, but if your strikers are scoring and you don't have enough defensive cover to protect the goals the strikers are scoring, you will always struggle. That's the reason why Liverpool this season they are scoring goals, but they can't go past Manchester United and Co and possibly occupy the second spot, because they are conceding too many goals. And as far as score prediction for this one is concerned, and of course it's Jurgen Klopp, and of course Mo Salah is there, Mane is there. Score prediction for this one is concerned, I will go with 4-0 victory for Liverpool. And of course, I've got to say this, Mo Salah is going to score 2 goals. With Watford versus Everton at the Vicarage Road Stadium. And of course, the Vicarage Road initially it was a threat ground, but this time around I think they are very sluggish, they are very bad, they are very pathetic. And of course, Everton, they are beginning to pick form, but under the words of this particular big man, the big Sam Allardyce, he's going to in fact motivate his players. He's got to talk to his players, because they need to reach that 40 points limit. They need to get themselves off the drop zone. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Of course, they can't achieve anything this season. They can't achieve anything in this particular 2017-2018 Premier League season than survive and of course play Premier League football next season. At least Premier League football is better than the big Sam Allardyce. We want his boys to up their game. We want his boys to pick the maximum 3 points over Watford, but it won't be easy. But I see these two sides, they are on the same page. It seems they are playing the same style of football, and both are struggling. To my continue with Burnley versus Southampton at Turf Moor, and of course Turf Moor, it's always a fortress. This season Turf Moor has been fortress, and Turf Moor will always be fortress for the season end. And of course Burnley, under the watch of Sean Dyche, they are doing well this time around. They've done well in the first half of the season, and I must say they've done extremely well. Let's applaud for Sean Dyche and his charges. They've done well, and again I think the second half of the season they have jingled a bit. They've not had enough of the ball, they've not had enough of points. They keep playing draw, which is not the best. And of course they've got to do something this time around, because this is their season. I always call them the surprise of the season, and nobody can stop the Turf Moor boys. Nobody can stop Sean Cameron. And again they are playing against one of the upcoming, because this time they are beginning to pick form. This time they are beginning to gather enough confidence. Southampton. So this game is going to be very cagey. This game is going to be tough. This game is going to be fascinating, and of course it's going to be who is more determined to pick the maximum 3 points. Even though it's Turf Moor and Burnley, they've also got something great, that when it comes to fixtures at the Turf Moor, they are always there to pick the maximum 3 points. But this one, it is going to be serious, and the one who is more determined will pick the maximum 3 points. But I think the best for this particular side, the score prediction is concerned, I will go with 2-1 victory for the home side, Burnley over Southampton. Now let's come. Crystal Palace will be up against Mauricio Pochettino's Tottenham Hotspur, and of course Tottenham going into this particular fixture. Of course they were in Champions League with the old ladies of Italian football, Juventus. They've done well in the Champions League, even though they were playing away from home, but they were able to play 2-2. It speaks volume of them, and I can't write off Crystal Palace in this particular. I can't write them off because it's Selhurst Park. It's a fortress for some of the clubs in the Premier League, and of course Selhurst Park, when Crystal Palace are playing at Selhurst Park, they will always want to prove point, especially against the top 6 clubs in the Premier League, the likes of Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool. And again, I think this one, it won't be easy for Mauricio Pochettino and his charges. They've got to fight hard. They stand the chance of taking the maximum 3 points, but it won't come easy. They've got to put their ass down. They've got to do something. But for Crystal Palace, they are not cut and drift yet, but they've got to also fight hard to at least get themselves off the drop zone. It's very important, especially at this moment, at this period, at this moment of the season, at this time of the season. You've got to pick points if really you are down there, if really you want to survive. So as far as score prediction for this very one is concerned, of course it's Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Tottenham Hotspur. I will go with 2-1 victory for Tottenham Hotspur, and this is how time will allow me. My name is Francis Lampard, and I have passion for sports. This has been another episode. This has been another coverage of what the game zone. Until then, do enjoy the rest of your evening, but don't forget to catch me on Monday for the scoreboard, where we preview, where we wrap up all the results, and of course the top 5 European leagues. That's the scoreboard for you. My name remains Francis, and I have passion for sport. But don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Francis Lampard, on YouTube, and also you can follow me at Agbachisel Francis Lampard on Facebook, Agbachisel Frank on
turn